So on to game two. So I started recording a little bit late. So the Lee Sin's already been picked. Obviously it wasn't banned last time. Now this is going to be for Peanut. I don't think it's going to go into a lane. Peanut is kind of the Lee Sin guy. That's what he's kind of known for. Like a lot of people in Korea actually, but overall, the Xin is banned. So they were already planning on taking a Lee because Xin Lee can be a very tough matchup. They do give Damwon the Jace again though, so nice respectful ban of the of the Diana though. But they just get Jace Ziggs again, so they're just looking to run the same comp back. Oh, maybe they get the LeBlanc. Hiccups again. I mean, Ziggs is a potential flex though. So he might potentially be seen in mid. I highly doubt it, but there's a potential. So they do give the LeBlanc over though, which LeBlanc Lee Sin is an incredibly powerful duo. It's probably one of the best mid jungle duos in the entire game actually. You obviously do have things like Nidalee Galio as well, and Nidalee Renekton is obviously somewhat good. But Lee Sin and LeBlanc, great duo. So now, if I were them, I'd just pick a massive tank. I'd just pick Ornn here, to be honest. Like he's going to get punished by Jace, but he's going to be useful later on into the game no matter what. So I think here, I mean, Kennen works too. I mean, they're just running back a similar comp, which I can respect. They just want to do what they've been practicing. They do pick up the Leona this early though, purely because I presume if they do lock it, they just don't want it to get banned in phase 2. So Ziggs Leona is great. Obviously, I think Ziggs Nautilus is also a good combination, but now they can actually just pinch away support pool and just stop champions that can roam for this mid lane. So probably, I mean, a Nautilus ban would be fine, even though Nautilus isn't the best of champions, but he can still move. Ezreal again, so pinching ADCs is also viable, so they could also ban Varus away here too, just so that they can't just poke from the back and follow up on this Lee Sin and LeBlanc engage. So maybe we see like a Varus ban too. I think it's more than likely going to be kind of like a support ban, maybe something like a Nautilus ban, or I mean they just don't put value on Thresh, I guess. So they ban Liss. Liss is obviously one of the hardest counters to LeBlanc, and obviously Showmaker can play everything because he's a professional. So Liss is a really good ban. I like how they're banning away things that could potentially cause trouble to these kind of first 3 picks that they've gone for. So Ezreal, they banned Yuumi as well, I guess, so that Yuumi doesn't get on top of LeBlanc or Lee Sin, but kind of interesting ban, like, considering she makes her laning phase so weak there, and unless she's with something like an Ezreal, it can be very, very rough. So I'm not sure about that ban, but they clearly had good intentions with it. So we do see the Ryze getting picked up. Standard pick. I mean, Ryze can be a good pick into LeBlanc as well, since if she walks inside a wave when you E, or if she kind of W's onto your backline, instead of trying to E her, which is way harder, what you can do is you can just E the wave, hopefully, like, and then it will hit her because it spreads to everything in the area, and then you just instantly get the W, or you can, Q, but yeah, getting that root is really important because you get the root and then you reset your Q as well. Oh wait, what happened there? I saw a Samira get locked in. Okay, weird. I kind of skipped back. But are they really going to go with Samira? Of all ADCs, pick Ashe. Pick Ashe here. Pick Ashe. You literally end up a supportive ADC, considering you've got so much damage in mid jungle, and now they've gone Samira Rell. What? How do they ever win the game? Again, they've just done the exact same thing twice. Like, this game's already won for DK. It's gonna be another quick 3 games. Like, I just don't get it. Like, what is, like, Dokdan's problem? What, like, is it him or is it the coaches or what? But why would you choose to go Samira? They're trying to find answers to Ziggs, sure, but you don't answer Ziggs in lane, you answer him outside of lane. Like, because in lane, he's just a menace. That's what he does. Like, but he's also very immobile. Even though his W is fairly good, it's also very predictable, and you know exactly where he's going to go to. So if you're playing something like Leona, and Ziggs uses his bomb and jumps somewhere, then you can predict where to throw your E to, and you'll almost always land it if you're proficient on Leona. So, I mean, if I'm the side of NS now, they have to snowball mid so hard, it's unreal. Samira can clean up like kills, don't get me wrong, but it's just so hard for it to do anything, especially into a Leona. Like, one of the things that counters Samira so hard is having oh, we can actually see their monitors from here. Huh. It's pretty funny. Imagine if we got secret intel just from that. Like, we got like 40/40 vision. I don't know if that's a thing, but so it's going into game 2 now. I think this is going to be another complete stomp, to be completely honest. Like, and this isn't even a showcase of how good Damwon are, to be honest, even though they are playing this pretty well. This is more just a showcase of how bad NS drafts have been. Like, the rel is good. I like the rel, but Samira is not the answer to Ziggs. Like, so if they're drafting for team comp, sure, but they're never going to get to that point, especially against Damwon. Like, how do they ever play safe against Damwon? That's the bigger concern, to be honest, because Damwon will punish them on every single corner. So, looking at the runes, nothing crazy. Right, swap back to Phase Rush because it's obviously LeBlanc. We have a Predator Trundle though. Canyon went Predator on Trundle. I guess that makes sense because you can pred in, and then the movement, the slow from your E still allows you to skirmish. So he's gone blue Gromp. Obviously he's got a Ziggs on the bot lane. They're not really going to be in any danger. So what I'd like to see him do here is just go straight into red buff and then gang top. I don't want to see him take these walls. He is going to take these walls. I mean, that's, I guess it's not the end of the world if he just goes red into top lane now. If he does a full clear, then I think this is pretty rough because Kennen is going to be an aggressor on Jace in the laning phase. So okay, so we do see this gang coming in from Peanut. I mean, Trundle should be here for the counter gang, but he's not. Like, he just prioritized full clearing. Oh, but Khan actually played that so nicely though. But Peanut had to flash for that, and unfortunately he doesn't die there. But I was so troll from Canyon. Like, if teams just 3 camp top, then they're gonna punish Canyon so hard. Like, so hard. He just refuses to move. He is, I think, did he get the blue buff? So he did get blue buff away from Lee Sin because he was so low, but it doesn't really matter. Lee Sin got that early kill, which again is going to really rely on this Lee Sin and the LeBlanc snowballing. So right here, what we'll see is Lee Sin will hop. Obviously, there we go. Unfortunately, he was a little bit too slow. He waited even though he was in vision. So that was kind of weird. Okay, so LeBlanc misses the chains on Showmaker. It's weird seeing Gory play LeBlanc now, considering he's just had a Renekton game. Trundle is here for a potential dive, though. Oh, and a perfect pillar. Oh my god, this was perfect. That was amazing. Perfect pillar, man. That was something else. Like, what the hell was that? That was so good. That's getting turned into a meme, I'm telling you. So that was really, really good gank from Canyon. Nice to know that he's very proficient on Trundle, and now he's just going to take this grump and he's just going to wait for Canyon to come back. Hey, how's it going, Annabelle? How's it going, my dude? We are watching some more DK. Just because they're just so good. So this is actually the early play. So Khan actually turns this. I think he uses a biscuit there. So he uses a biscuit for the mana that he needed to just one-shot the cannon. So it's actually very good use of biscuits. Peanut does flash forward to get that, but he's just he just instantly W's back to the wave. But this was beautiful. Look at this. Cannon just cannot move. The pillar literally trapped him against the wall and he couldn't move. Going for 80% achievements completed on StarCraft. Nice, my dude. How far are you? Okay, so as we can see, the Smirror, you know, she's not doing too bad in the laning phase, but as soon as it gets out of laning phase, she's really not going to be able to do that much. Oh, 1 out of 4 campaigns. Only 3 to go. Plenty of time before Worlds. I wonder if people are going to enjoy the content more when it's actually Worlds. And we know what they play. And we can big brain the draft. So Canyon coming in for another gank. Obviously they know that Rich doesn't have flash, so just instantly gets punished and instant dies again. And that that face that he pulled, okay, you guys can see it actually because of where my cam is, but he just kind of went. So he knew that he, you know, messed up like hard. So he's now 0-3 now. Oh god, oh god, oh god, oh god. Kennen has committed one of the biggest sins known to man. Known to man. He has built, you'll see it in a second. I want you guys to see it so that you can get the same kind of feel, you know. What the fuck is this? Like, how do you expect to do any damage when you've built defensive stats first item? Like, he's not going to do anything in this lane now. Jace is actually going to snowball it. Unfortunate Canyon gets the kill, I think, for the second time there. But Zhonya's first. Oh, God, it's terrible. Oh, it's painful. I mean, I think Zhonya's first, I mean, is never really good. Like, I don't think it's ever good. You did see it on things like Azir sometimes, but I just don't think it's good. Now, obviously, there's an argument that you don't get your mythic bonus until you get an item. Yeah, support, it's actually okay. Like, stuff like Alistair is incredibly good with it, because Alistair's kit is balanced around the fact that he will WQ in, probably use his ult, and then run away, and, you know, the fight will be over by the time he gets his WQ back up, or he'll be dead because he's engaged. But what you can do is you can engage with a WQ, you can Zhonya's or stopwatch, and then it gives you another WQ, so you can basically win the team fight twice, purely because you got stopwatch. Obviously, it's not a replacement for Hex Flash, so you have to actually buy it, but it's incredibly powerful. It's actually very good. So again, we see the soul shoes come out now from Ghost. Love to see it. That early penetration is such a huge spike. 18 magic resist penetration is massive. So here we can see again, Rich is just gonna die. Like, they just know exactly what they want to do. Like, they've got 4 members up here. Even the Leona moved. They just know right now that this Kennen is so tilted that he's just gonna lose the game for them. Now, obviously, it's quite unfortunate that he died there. He should have just backed away from the tower. So one of the biggest issues that I actually see with DK at the moment is it's kind of like they have a plan of how the game is going to go when they go into it, and then they do not vary. They do not vary. So if that plan is a little bit off, like for example Canyon doing his chicken camps on Trundle when Lee Sin is going to 3 camp top lane gank. Extremely risky. Extremely. But, I mean, Rich does still have levels, but it's just not even worth it at this point. He's way too far behind. He's got nothing. He doesn't have a tower. He has defensive items. He even started Doran's shield, so he doesn't even get any additional damage out of that. And as we can see, Canyon comes in, ults. He's just going to tank the tower. It's basically the tower's killing Kennen, but obviously we get this bot dive. I don't think Zig should have stayed here whatsoever. As soon as he knew that they weren't in lane and they could potentially be behind him, especially since his Leona was cross-mapping, he should have just backed off and left. Like, the fact that he didn't was completely grief, and that really screwed him there, to be honest. So at this point now, they're looking for just kind of ways to get an advantage. Now, at this point, they've already... the Lee Sin did actually get the Herald, but the Dragon, it should be quite important this game for the side of DK, since they're so strong, and you know, it's a Cloud Dragon to start. Now the problem is with a Cloud Dragon start is that you're guaranteed to get a good soul, so it's like you really don't want to go for it. Now what I think DK are doing is, one of the playstyles they like to go for is to give the first dragon or two and just get advantages on the map and then look to rotate into it, which we can actually see them doing here. So I feel like that's a very common thing that we've seen from DK. They're actually just going to potentially look to give this. Yeah, they're just going to give it over. I mean, like I said, it doesn't really matter too much, because that also, they can use that as a benefit, and I think DK know this. They can use the dragons going over to the enemy team early as a benefit for them, because right now it's a mountain dragon next, which means there's going to be the opportunity to get either 4 oceans or 4 infernals, which as soon as they release the dragon updates, I instantly said about this kind of strategy and tactic, and I even used it in some of my pro teams. Where you can potentially give 2 dragons over as long as you make a sizable gold lead elsewhere on the map, and then from that you can basically just snowball into 4 dragons, which give a considerable amount. Each of those 1 dragons, they're kind of balanced around the fact that you'll only really have 2 of them on your way to Soul, but if you get 4, you end up unbelievably strong, and it's a massive comeback mechanic. Same way as minion buffs is a comeback mechanic, but that's an incredibly powerful one that you can use quite easily, actually, as long as you know how to win the map elsewhere, which I think DK do know how to do by the looks of this cannon. He's only just picked up his alternator, which is usually a really, really big power spike, but now all we can see is that he's just going to get pushed in over and over and over, and then everybody's just going to rotate to objectives and fights before he can. So at this point, he's very, very weak. And it's kind of one of the ways you can beat Kennen, right? Because he's a massive lane bully, same as, say, Lucian, but they're very vulnerable to ganks, so... So, I mean, to be honest, I really haven't seen enough come out of this Lee Sin LeBlanc so far. Now, this is by far nowhere near the power spike. So, LeBlanc needs to reset now and build. I mean, I think she's got... it's very unfortunate that she's gone with these boots, because she's gone them to stop the Trundle running her down in laning phase and to kind of reduce some of the root duration from the rise, but I just really don't think they're good here. Like, I think that pen is really what you need, especially when you have a Lee Sin jungle who is designed to keep you alive. Like, the pen is just way too valuable here, because obviously when she gets to 2-3 items, she ends up with so much penetration that she can do all of their damage. Like, all of their damage. It's crazy how much LeBlanc can do if she just goes pen. Now, Samira is getting a little bit of a free lane due to the fact that Leona is roaming off permanently, but that is allowing DK to get advantages elsewhere on the map, so I don't really mind it too much. I think Samira is going to kind of be useless in this mid game anyway, because she's just going to get CC'd, and that's kind of it for her. I feel like they've taken her so that they have a kind of hypermobile ADC that can potentially catch up with the LeBlanc and the Lee Sin, but it's really not going to mean that much. It's not going to do anything for them. So Samira does have a gold lead, but again, Ziggs did get shut down, and Leona hasn't been in lane for ages, so... but as we can see, this gold lead in top lane right now, nearly 2.5 thousand gold advantage for the Jace, means that the Kennen is doomed. Well, what do you do here as the Kennen? Like, get a good ult off, okay, great, but you're not going to do any damage, and you don't really have... I mean, he does have damage elsewhere, don't get me wrong, but... unless you can get Kennen ult into a perfect Samira ult, then I can't see them winning here. So, I mean, like I said previously, that their comp is teamfight focus, right? So Samira makes sense, but overall it's still just a little bit... it's not really too... so they dropped the Herald in bot lane. They're going to pop this tier 1 in bot, and I'd like to see them keep pushing with this Herald too. If Jace manages to land an EQ on anybody, he's going to do so much damage. It's actually nice to see Khan being in a carry position for a change. And... as I say that, he gets one shot because his positioning was terrible. So... forget everything that I just said. That's crazy. Maybe I set him up for failure. Maybe I inted him. It was my fault. Okay, so we get the Kellen's engaged. He does manage to engage on the Jace and completely one-shot him. He has a CC chain. He should have really been expecting the Rel would flash on top of him and just completely CC chain him. So the thing is, Rel flash W engage is undodgeable. It's very, very powerful, and that's one of the reasons why Rel is so strong at the moment, because she has this ability to just single out one person and just jump them and they're done for. So yeah, so she's extremely powerful right now because of because of this. Okay, so weird visual glitch here where the bushes aren't actually showing, but they are definitely there. We can see the flowers, so that's what matters. Unfortunately, Kennen looks like he's about to be seeing the flowers again soon because Trundle and Jace are converging on him bot lane. Now, Peanut is there, but like this is still basically a 1v2, and Peanut isn't in a strong enough position to 1v2 either. Now, LeBlanc does have a lot of penetration now out of her Ludens. Nice 6 penetration just for free, but it's really not going to help her as much as you'd like to, especially considering we already see the Merc Treads coming out of mid and jungle right now. So it's actually really good as Ryze to get that. Even if you just get no magic, it's going to reduce LeBlanc's damage by so much because she is just a burster. So it's going to reduce it by a significant amount. Now, again, we have the Ocean in 2 minutes, which now DK can start forcing Oceans because Kennen's nowhere near strong enough to actually come with him. And they're going to start pushing on this tier 2 tower as well for that 600 gold. Rich gets one shot almost. Shame Jace didn't have EQ to just finish him off there, but now this means they can just siege safely. Look at this Jace poke, and this is why the reason kind of Jace is so good, because he's very difficult to play, and in solo queue is very hard, but in competitive, when you have this, okay, an amazing W from Showmaker. Rel does jump in and get a massive combo that does save the tower, and it keeps it doing damage, but we get a TP coming in from Gory, just instantly just knocked away over and over. Just insta-kill. Again, this game is completely over. The Samira can't function in these kind of games. Like, there's nothing she can really do. They need to play more meta ADCs if they're going to have any kind of chance, which I don't think they're going to do, considering they've prepared all of these ADCs for this game, for this series, but very rough to see. Now, DK not in a game-ending position yet, so they're not going to take that inhib. They're going to keep it exposed for now, and they're going to reset, and they're going to go clear other lanes instead. There is a ward here, but he doesn't want to clear it because if he hits it, then it's going to get revealed, and right now it's turned off because of the control ward. So he does manage to get that recall through. So we do see the fight here. So watch the Rel particular, because she gets a really, really good fight, kind of engage off. We do get an instant just kind of CC chain there. Rel should have gone earlier, really. She does go in and get that combo with a W ult off, but as you can see, as soon as Samira goes in, she doesn't even get a chance to ult. She's just instantly popped. So like NS, I don't doubt they're a good team because they're in playoffs. So, and this round 2 of playoffs as well on 11.16, but it's round 2. So overall, you'd expect them to be doing pretty damn like better than this, but the draft is just too poor in 2 games in a row. Like, they've got such a strong 2v2 mid jungle, which again I don't think they've played properly either this game. I don't think they've played it for what it's good for. Canyon messed up early game pathing, but it doesn't really matter if lanes are just gonna kind of int like this. So some mirror W's there. See, if this was something like an Ashe, or even I think Varus might have been banned, but even a Varus, much better. They would have had an actual... Actually, I don't think Varus was banned. But NS are just going for this dragon. DK want to fight it because they want to actually get this... Unfortunately, Canyon doesn't manage to smite that away. Cannon uses ult, but again, he's just too out of this game. DK just going to play a really, really slow fight, and they're just going to slowly kill them all. Darkdam dead too. And Gory does actually kill Ghost, which is kind of surprising, but he's the only person left on his team now. They're just going to rush Baron and then look to end. They are realm warping on top of wards here, but But Gory just trying to get something on Leona. He won't be able to, and they're just going to take this Baron and end the game. Cannon had to use his smite early, though, which isn't good, considering he has a kind of a Rel and a full HP Jace that can kind of tank. Obviously, there's no threat that Lee Sin's going to get in there and smite, but... So it's completely fine. But still, Rel with a really good engage again. Kennen very, very slow on the follow-up. Very slow. He has to use Flash, I think, there to actually follow up, and then he gets instantly CC because DK space him. Now, Peanut goes in to try and do something. Doctum jumps in, but then he just instantly gets CC'd. And as you can see, this is why Samira is useless, because if you're playing something like a Leona, as soon as you jump in, she's going to instantly Q you, and you're going to get CC'd out of your ultimate. So, it's just an impossible situation for NS. Like, I honestly, I kind of feel bad for them. Like, to be completely honest, because I feel like their playoff run was ended by this series, which world champions, don't get me wrong, but they didn't even have opportunities to punish as much, because like the draft was just terrible. Both games in a row, picking Kai'Sa and Samira like unconditionally is mind-blowing to me. Mind-blowing. But quick series does mean we can potentially watch another series, maybe. We'll see. Okay, so DK are just sieging again with his cannon, so really good cannon sieges. So they know how to use Baron, which is obviously nice. So I'm just gonna finish. So we see them looking to siege. Beryl does get chunked out quite a bit, but it doesn't really matter too much. He just needs to get his full CC off, and then he's fine, and he's exhausted especially. Here they don't really need to engage anything, purely because they've got this cannon. They just need to keep clearing the wave with Ziggs and Jace, and then they'll be fine. Fortunately, they took way too long to clear it there, and it meant that the cannon died, unfortunately, but so... Okay, but as you can see, as soon as this other siege menu comes in, they just come in, they're going to get this inhib, and then they're just going to rotate into the bottom inhib, and then they're just going to be able to potentially reset and just end the game like that. I would have liked to see them just walk into the inhib and take it, but I guess instead they're going to clear away the jungle, reset, and then as 5 just push down bot lane right now, especially considering there's not much they can do. I mean, I like... NS ping Dragon here, but there's no way in this situation they can ever Dragon. If they try Dragon here, then they just lose the game entirely, and I'm gonna have an aneurysm or something like. They're actually going for it. They're actually considering Dragon right now. Like... They've got supers pushing in top, supers pushing in mid. Now DK just needs to go and push this bot wave. Like, so what if they get the dragon? They'll just end the game. Canyon has way too much gold right now, and Anathema's chains, which I think he does have on the Lee Sin, so... Okay, massive amount of poke coming out. They're just going to keep the dragon up. I don't even think they're going to get it. They're just going to keep the dragon up and keep poking out. They don't even need it. It's not really going to provide them with anything. They're just waiting for these super minions to push in the base so that they can then just get vision of where they are. Now, she'll make it instantly moving. I think he even... No, he didn't even use his TP to get his ultimate to get there. So, instantly moving. And now we can see that they're just going to push bot in here now for this inhib. They have 2 synchronized waves in mid and top lane, which is nice to see. And they're just going to slowly just close the game out. So I feel like when DK do get things like Baron, they really know how to use it. So you have to try and avoid letting them get Baron in the first place. Nice engage from the Rel, but it's too little too late. The Lee Sin does get an insect off, but does absolutely no damage. Samira tries to get her ult off again, but again, completely useless champion. She can do nothing here. And now they're just going to end the game out. So again, like, this ADC pick is completely griefing. Now I know top lane did actually win them that game, like the Jace 1v1, but I don't know. Crazy. Let's go on to the next one. I think there's one more left of this.